the Thursday, June 23rd, 2022 meeting of the Madison County Board Adjustments to order. Would you call the roll?
Mike Madison.
Here.
Angie Barnes.
Here.
Keith Park.
Here.
Valerie Hines.
Here.
Ralph Hall.
The next item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from our April 21st, 2022 meeting. Has everybody had a chance to look over those, and does anybody have any comments on those?
On the back page, under the motion that I made, was for a conditional use permit. It is written as a gunsmithing business, and it should have been a pet grooming business.
Of what?
It's written as a gunsmithing business,
On the motion part?
and it should be a pet grooming business.
Hey, what?
It's written as a gunsmithing business on the minutes, and it should be a pet grooming business.
Where is that? Oh, see it there, yeah. Okay, we can make that change.
Do we need to go through the motion process to amend that, Bert, or are we okay with
You can make the motion with that, that amendment. Yeah.
Angie?
So I make the motion, to approve the minutes of April 21st with the adjustments.
Second.
Angie Barnes.
Yes.
Keith Park.
Yes.
Mike Madison.
Yes.
Valerie Hines.
Yes. We have a couple of amendments to our agenda. The first amendment is number 3 on the agenda, conditional use permit for 2223 Kentucky River Road, Richmond, Kentucky. That has been postponed until next month's meeting, which is July 21st, 2022. And then the second item I'm going to address is number 8 on my agenda, conditional use permit 197 Old Tan Bark Road in Berea. As the vice chair, I have a conflict and would need to recuse myself. So that I make a motion to amend the agenda to move this item to the next month's meeting of July 21st, 2022. Is there a second?
A second.
Angie Barnes.
Yes.
Mike Madison.
Yes.
Keith Park.
Yes.
Valerie Hines.
Yes.
So folks, let me just interrupt for just a second. For those of you that are here for the tan bark item on the agenda, it's gonna be postponed till next month. We didn't know that till tonight, but it's a conflict of interest for our vice chair, and our chairman couldn't be here tonight. He'll be back next month, hopefully willing. And I know there was several people that called my office today that weren't able to be here. Maybe that'll give them an opportunity to be here too. Apologize to the applicant, apologize to everybody that came out tonight, but we wanna make sure we do everything right. So if you're here for that item, you're welcome to stay if you want to, but we won't be hearing that tonight. It'll be heard at the 21st?
Yes.
The 21st of next month on that Thursday. Okay? And we'll continue on with the rest of the agenda.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is a dimensional variance for 1995 Red House Road in Richmond.
Yeah, let's just give everybody who wants to go a chance to get out of here, so. Okay, hang on just a second, we'll get you up here when the chair person's ready for you there. Whenever you're ready, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna hear 1995 Red House Road in Richmond. The applicants were Joyce Dickerson and Clayton Holmes.
Yep.
Ma'am, if you wanna come forward to the microphone if you wanna speak. Will you please raise your right hand? Do you agree to give truthful and accurate information as it pertains to this case?
I'm sorry.
Do you agree to give truthful and accurate information as it pertains to this case?
Yes,
Would you state your name and address?
Joyce Dickerson, I don't live at that address. I live at 1090 Willis Branch Road, Richmond, Kentucky.
Do you own that property though?
Yes, I own that property
And you're requesting a dimensional variance?
of 25 foot,
You saw the
because,
map in your-
Yes.
One, and there's
On the
a
back of the
two,
application.
2 foot discrepancy in the, what she's asking for and what. If she's 102 feet now, she only needs a 23 foot variance, but
Well,
it's,
what she needed. Maybe there's an overhang on the trailer or something, I don't know, maybe they rounded
Okay.
it off, but
Okay.
I'm not sure, but, if you give her the
Even.
45, that gets her down to the 100, so that gets her within 5 feet.
yeah. Yeah, she's 102 now, she only needs a 23 foot variance to get up to 100.
25.
But she's asking for 25 foot.
So that gets her, that's, she's 2 foot.
Give her plenty.
If you give her 25. You can see this lot, it's.
Is it, you're gonna move this mobile home in and you're gonna move into it from where you live now?
I have bought it for my grandson to live in. He has 5 kids, and got a set of twins, and where they were living, they had steps, and one of them's dead. And so when you hollered at him when he went to the steps, he did not hear. So I wanted something one level for him, so I bought this trailer for him.
Are there any other questions?
I just was looking at the deed. The property on the deed says 2005 Red House Road, is that correct?
That's not correct.
Well,
Okay.
no, that I bought 2005,
Oh,
which
okay.
was a little over 5 acres, and I sold all of it but 1 acre, which they said was 1995 Lot B to me.
Okay.
Bert, have we had any calls or inquiries on this one?
No, I don't think we've had anybody call about this one.
Does anybody have a motion?
You want to poll our audience, make sure nobody's here to speak.
Is there anyone here on 1995 Red House Road?
There was gonna be a 25-foot variance.
That's their application, and according to the rendering there, that would get them where they need to be.
I'll make a motion to grant the 25-foot variance for the property at 1995 Red House Road.
I'll second.
Keith Park,
Yes.
Mike Mavety,
Yes.
Angie Barnes,
Yes.
Valerie Hunt.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Dixon. We'll be in touch with the paperwork we need you to fill out. You can come to our office, okay? We'll give you a call. Thank you for coming in. It's in the courthouse annex building, right behind this building, big tall three-story building. We're up on the 3rd floor. All right.
The next item on the agenda is a conditional use permit for 132 Smith Lane in Berea. Is there anyone here on this? Would you come forward, sir? Would you go to the microphone, please? Do you agree to give truthful and accurate information as it pertains to this case?
I do.
Would you please state your name and your address?
My name is Clarence Hayes, and my address is 132 Smith Lane in Berea, Kentucky.
Would you tell us what you're asking for this evening?
Well, I I have a very small farm there, and also have a pottery there, which I've had for several years. And and about 10 years ago, a young man came to me wanting to learn. You know, he was not in college, but he wanted to start a pottery business, and he wanted to learn how to do it. Very talented, and I said yes. And so I gave him a space in my building to do that. Well, fast forward now to 10 years later, I now have about 6 people every year, young people, young compared to me, I mean, not young necessarily, who would like to become professional potters. And often they do not have the training. Well, I know they can go to college and take pottery in college, but this is more of a vocational program and not a academic program. And it wasn't really a program to start with. It just happened that there was a lot of people interested, and I kept letting people come, and eventually I started a non-profit to do this, and got to be where my real job was not making pottery, but making space for younger people to do that. And that's, so officially what I'm trying to do is come in through the back door and say, yes, I have a business here, which I didn't really, you know, intend. It wasn't my intention initially, but it became my intention. And if you'll see that area there, you can see that little barn in the middle, that's the pottery there. But it's just right up from that. Yeah, that one right there. And we're a little cramped for space, and I would like to build maybe another building in that area, or something that you know, the offices of our concern is in my house there, and it's very, very cramped. We don't have very much space, and I would like to be able to build a building there and to do what I'm doing now. But to do that, I have to be allowed to be considered I'm told that I have to become a business officially to do that. I guess I'm right on this. I'm very ignorant of the rules.
The
but
fence line along the back, the farm on the other side, does it belong to you?
where your pointer is up there, yes, belongs to me.
You got 20 acres almost?
The original was, I think, 22 acres, but now that front belongs to me also, that little section there, that does, and also that other little piece there, that belongs to me too.
So you've got 20, 25 acres.
Something like that, yeah. And so, like I say, we operate this as I make no money doing this. There's no income generated for me doing this. It's just a public service. I mean, I'd be perfectly glad if I did get paid to do it, but that's not why I do it. And there's no tuition or anything for the young people who do this. But I'm very selective about, there's way more people who want to than there is space for them. I only have 6 a year, and I'm very selective about who gets to do this. And to me, this is just a way of giving back. I mean, Madison County, I know you all know, we've got the longest history of ceramic production of any place in America, really. And most of the people that's done this are like me. They're kind of gray, a little snow on the rooftop. And my desire is to get younger people. This is long-winded. I really didn't need to go this far into it, but this is kind of what we're trying to do.
So you said
And,
you have 6 people a year. Are they all 6 there at the same time, or
They
are
can be,
staggered?
yes. Yeah, there's plenty enough room for them to do
And what are
that.
the typical hours that they're there each day? Just-
They can be, depends on where they work. It depends on, most of them have other jobs. Some of them are there at night. Some of them are there on the weekend. Some are there on the weekends. They're able to come during the week.
Are you always there when they're there?
Just about always, but if there are people I can't trust to be there when I'm not there, they're not there to start with. They have to be able to be, they need to be pretty far along in their seriousness before they're even considered.
Shays, what she's looking for is
A time period.
not a typical business, but looking for hours of operation, thinking of the neighbors. If you got people out there turning pottery at 3 o'clock in the morning,
Well, I mean, that would be real unusual to do that, but it's not a noisy occupation, but the people driving in and out could be a problem to somebody. I mean, but due to the nature of the fact that a good number of people have other jobs or daytime jobs, sometimes some people do not, and they're able to come during the day, but a lot of the people who say may work and say they work at, maybe they work at a service station or whatever they do in the daytime, then they have to come at night or on the weekends. We have some single mothers, and we also have some young married couples. I have two people. One is a young mother who she works in a daytime job as it's online development thing, and she has a young child. So she comes a lot at night and on the weekends. And then I have another young lady in a similar situation.
If you had to pick a reasonable time of the evening or later in the evening
We
for
don't,
things to
we
stop.
wouldn't want people to be coming, after midnight or anything like that, but people can work till 11 o'clock at night easily, but it's because if you're coming out for work at 6 o'clock, 4 hours of work is 10 o'clock.
Have you had any of the neighbors across the road complain about people coming and going?
No, they have not. This is the old, I don't know if y'all are familiar with Ed Brandenburg, but that's the old Ed Brandenburg farm, and I bought that after he died, and that's that little house in the front's his boy. And then
134?
I can't see it there. 1, 2,
To the left of your property.
123, I think it is directly. Well, it's right across the road from us. Yeah, 134. Yeah, I believe it's in that triangle. I can't-
33.
Yes, yeah.
133.
He's my right across the road neighbor,
Okay.
and
Well, do most of the people coming there, do they let you know when they're coming?
not necessarily. I mean, they usually I mean, if there's going to be any, most of the time, no, not really. I mean, I know they're coming because I'm there.
Okay.
But
That's why I didn't know if we could put, it's usually by appointment only that your hours of operation would be, but
So
Well-
you don't necessarily supervise these people?
I do
all the
supervise
time?
them in that I provide glaze instruction for them. I do, but they're not supervised. They are already on their way to trying to.
So they already know how to throw powder?
They already
when
know how to
come
do
start.
this.
Okay,
But there's a lot they have to learn. Just
right.
they may not know how to do firing. They may not know how to.
Yeah.
And we'll often offer classes informally, like for example, how to make your own glazes or how to come up with your own clay mixtures, things
Yeah.
like that.
But say I came out there and said, hey, I'd like to learn how to throw pottery, you wouldn't take me.
Generally,
I've never done it before.
Generally speaking, we aren't really, we're not trying to replace
Not for the beginner.
your local arts council. That's not our job. We're more of but sometimes during the year we will have like a one day, like a Saturday morning or something like that, where we will invite the people in the community if they would like to come and take a pottery class, kind of like a one day or a half a day thing to get introduced. We'll do something like that, but generally speaking, that's not our, we're more of a accelerator program. Basically, people who already know what they want to do and have experience. Sometimes we get overflow from the colleges. We get young people who have gone to college and taken some classes in college, and they go, wow, that's what I really want to do. And we have taken people like that. Whenever the Berea had an arts accelerator program and they had potters there, but we predated them, and we post-dated them. So what happened is when they closed down, we actually took some of their people. But generally speaking, we don't advertise, we've got a banner out front, but we don't have a big sign out there or anything. We have, most all of our people come by recommendation. And
What's the maximum amount of vehicles that you would have at one time?
Normally, 3 or 4, something like that. I mean, we couldn't have over 6, because it's only 6 people can work, but that would be the most. We've got a pretty good little space there to park. It looks kind of funky there, but you can get quite a few vehicles right there. But we wouldn't have more than 6 normally. But we might have some kind of function where we'd have extra people, but that's not, wouldn't be normal.
But you could possibly have more than 6 people at a time, not vehicles, but actual individuals.
We could. Like I say, it wouldn't be usual, but we could do that.
Do these individuals have keys to let themselves in and out?
We don't have a lock, the door's not locked.
Okay, you might want to
We
now.
could do that if that's important to do, but we don't. But we have locked it up in the past. I have locked it up, like where I was gonna be gone for a while, or there wasn't any supervision for a long time, then we would lock it up.
Bert, what, since this is a not-for-profit business, is this a little different than if he was gonna open a
It's not in
pottery
terms of
there
the
and
business
sell?
license ordinance. The business license ordinance doesn't distinguish between, I mean, have you ever met a farmer that makes any money at all?
Yeah.
That's a joke, but,
Yeah.
but whether or not you make a profit and you're successful is not the determining factor of whether or not you need a license. He's gonna be operating a business here, people coming and going, whether he's making money or not, it's still business.
Any other questions for Mr. Hayes?
I just wanted to clarify, you mentioned that you may build a new building, where on your property would you?
Well, probably in that section there where the other buildings are nearby, in that area, either there or right just behind that, somewhere, or pretty close within that section.
I can't tell what that is there.
That's a garden there.
Okay.
But, or maybe just behind the barn there, that little section just behind there, anyway, close to where the buildings are now. I guess we could build it somewhere else, but it makes sense to keep things as close together as possible.
Any other questions from the board?
We still never determined about the hours of operation.
Well, let's hear from the audience or anybody else that might want to.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak?
If you've heard from anybody, or.
There's a gentleman in the
Yeah.
I have not. Yeah, come on up.
Mine's
No,
just.
you'll have to
You
come
have
up
to
here to
come
the
up.
microphone. Mr. Hayes, if you'll have a seat, we can call you
Okay.
back up if we need to.
All right.
Stay close to what you.
And before you speak, do you agree to give truthful and accurate
I
testimony
do.
to this board? And please state your name and address.
David McFarland, 102 Crescent, Berea. And I didn't come for this at all. I came because of the go-kart thing, but I have known Mr. Hayes for probably 20 years. We're not friends, but I know of him. I know of this very low-key thing they've had for a while. I've never heard anything but positive comments, period. And since I happen to be sitting here and, live relatively close to there, I'm through there occasionally on a bicycle or riding. I mean, going by, I've never even noticed anything that would make it look different or large cars, and I've never heard anything negative about Mr. Hayes or, what he's doing to reach out to folks. All kind of low key, as they say, organic or grassroots kind of, just help your neighbor stuff. That was
Anybody
about
have
it.
questions? Thank you, Mr. McFarland. Is there anybody else here that would want to speak on this? Bert, did we have any calls or?
You know,
Okay. Mr. Hayes, if you could come back up for a moment. I'll remind you, you still agree to give truthful and accurate testimony. I think what the board is looking for is to be able to better define the hours of operation. If you could help us to narrow that down somewhat, that would be appreciated.
Well, our probably would be, my guess is that normally we would have like normal business hours, but it would probably be 6 days a week, normally. But there would be people coming in at night occasionally because of their work requirements would require them, that would be the only time they would be able to come in.
Well, do you think that they would have reason to stay past midnight?
I wouldn't think so. And rarely I would think somebody would stay to 10 o'clock at night. I would think rarely, but
I guess we just need to kind of nail down, the latest
I
anybody
don't wanna just give
can
you
come and
a
go.
blank check to go do whatever you want.
Right, well-
They're mindful that they.
understandable, yeah, I understand that. We're,
You said normally you use normal business hours, you're
Well, that
talking
would- that's-
within 8 to 5,
Mhm.
6 days a week.
That would be the most busy time, would be that time.
I think it's important, based on the testimony of the other gentleman, if you keep doing things the way you're doing them, then you're not gonna generate any complaints,
I
right?
don't think so, we've never had a complaint so
No
far.
outward signs of a business, there's not
Right,
a lot of delivery trucks coming, there's
No.
not a lot of foot traffic or retail traffic coming and
no,
going, so.
there's no retail traffic, we don't retail, so there's no, you know, at this point, we don't do any retail. Anything that people do is that part of their, part of what they do is they have to market their own products, and they have to do on their own. So we're not a market, we don't have a sales area, or we don't, you know.
So you said 6 days a week, what are those days?
Monday through Saturday,
Okay.
I would say would be that. Because we do have a fair amount of people on Saturday morning. If you work during the week, then Saturday morning's a good time to come
How
in.
early each day do people start?
9 o'clock maybe, something like that. Occasionally you get, artistic people get them up before noon's a pretty good, you're doing pretty good if you can get them up before noon. It's sort of like a herding cats job, actually, to be honest with you, but they're very talented, and they're, the people that we have selected are people that we really feel are going to be successful. That's,
I guess it might be easier for us if we wanna put a stipulation in there that there can't be any activity between whatever midnight and 7 o'clock in the morning.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And there wouldn't be, you know. And there's unusual, we're not busy at night. I don't wanna, the people who say have a 40-hour-a-week job and night is their only time to come and say, do a fire in, or once you get this stuff going and it's wet and it's a time to come and say, put a handle on it, and you don't do that, then you've got to throw it away the next day if you don't do that.
You know, I live next door to a potter, and sometimes his kiln goes almost 24 hours.
Well, he must
So-
be, yeah.
Mr. Hayes, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Do we have a motion?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Andy.
I make a motion that we approve the conditional use permit for the property at 132 Smith Lane. This conditional use permit will allow the operation of this nonprofit educational program that Mr. Hayes has. The hours of operation will be Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10:30 p.m.
Covers all the errors.
I could go a little later.
We can go
I think
to
that would
11.
be fine.
Later.
I think 10:30 would be,
We can do, I'm open.
I got this one.
I was gonna go with 9 to 5, cause he said normal business operation, but he said there is sometimes
Yeah.
people there
Yeah.
later, so.
I think 11 is-
10:30, I
Okay.
think, would work.
Okay, do we have a second?
10:30?
I have a second.
11.
I second the motion.
Call the roll, please.
Angie Barnes,
Yes.
Mike Madden.
Yes.
Keith Park,
Yes.
Valerie Hunt.
Yes.
Mr. Hayes, get in touch with us in the next couple of days, we'll let you know. Okay. Okay?
I do that at the annex?
Yep. Yes, thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is a conditional use permit for 787 Muddy Creek Road in Berea. Do we have anybody here for that? Will you come forward? The you agree to give truthful and accurate information as it pertains to this case?
Yes.
Would you please state your name and address?
Lori McKeel, 787 Muddy Creek Road South, Berea, 40403.
Okay. And we've had a chance to review, your, application and the attachments and what it is that you're asking for. You don't have to be as in-depth as you were with your application, but if you'll just explain to the board
Sure.
briefly what it is you're asking for.
Okay. I left Berea College, June of last year, 21, and wanted to pursue some kind of business adventure. And I've always loved hospitality, and I really enjoy meeting people, all different kinds of people from all around the world. And so I thought, well, I wonder what I could do. And I also am an artist, so I thought, well, maybe I could do some kind of lessons or something like that. So I started a little business, and I just kind of sat on it for a long time. Didn't really do anything, but I started it in June 21st of 21. Then I live on the edge of the wildlife reserve, and my friend Pam Tucker, she's like, you should open your place like an Airbnb or a B&B, and we have all these people that always need a place to stay. And so I was like, I don't know. So I went ahead and gave it a try in October, and I had 2 customers. And I made up a website for Airbnb. I checked with Berea to see if I needed any type of, if I was in compliance, and started keeping track of all my receipts and things. I didn't have any other customers until March of 22. And when I was really going through all of my paperwork and everything, I thought, I wonder if there's anything else I'm missing. And I called Berea again, or maybe I called Richmond, and they said, well, you're in the county, Madison County, so you need also a permit to run that business. So that's why I'm here. I want to make sure I'm in compliance. I have a food handler's license, and my husband is a builder, so we have egress, and I have everything in compliance upstairs. And I'm just here to make sure that I'm not doing anything wrong by running this thing. I really love it. I enjoy it. I enjoy having customers, and a lot of them find their way into Richmond. I give them referrals to restaurants and whatnot. So,
Are you requesting a conditional use for an Airbnb or for lessons, or both? It's all
well,
combined?
mainly the Airbnb, but also I really enjoy teaching art lessons, and I've done that for years. I just do it. I don't charge people, and I have them downstairs. But with this, I've been charging $30 per person, but I offer like a charcuterie board and a beverage, and then I pay for the canvas. I don't really make much, but it's just such a great experience for folks to learn art, either watercolor or acrylic, and so I would love that part. I'd love to keep
Are
that.
the people taking the lessons different than the people that are staying in the Airbnb? Sometimes different, sometimes the same? Or?
They could be. I also donate my time. Like I teach, I mentor. I'm thinking of one young lady right now that she just comes to the house, and I meet with her once a month, and I just kind of mentor her where she is. So I have that going. I've taught lessons at a church and those kind of things, but I would love to pursue it more.
So you're an art teacher at Berea College?
No, I did administration there for nursing.
So, the Artist Tranquil Nest,
Mhm.
LLC.
Yes.
Does that encompass your art teaching business and the Airbnb?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
And then for the lessons, do you have hours of operation for those, or a general idea of when?
It's
those
by
are given?
I'm sorry, Drew.
By appointment only?
By appointment.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I would say a third if maybe a customer might be interested. And then we could set that up, let's say if folks wanna come in on a Friday, they could do that Saturday morning. And I would make them breakfast and then have their lessons.
How many people can you house, per night?
I could sleep 6, but I have 2 rooms. One is quite large, and it has a king-size bed and a single bed, and it's very roomy in there. And then, but I want to put a trundle in there, and so I could maybe put like someone with kids could sleep in there.
So you would only have one customer per night?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought of making it 2 customers, but people typically don't want to share a restroom. So I only have one restroom upstairs, and so I just, it's kind of like a blessing for folks. Let's say a grandma and grandpa can sleep in the queen room, and then there's a king room with a single bed, and I also can put up a toddler bed and a pack and play if there's a big family. So, yep. And then there's a living room upstairs too, and I would love to put a pull-out couch, but that's just in time. I kind of have some visions for where it could go.
Would that be a separate rental than the one that houses 6, or would it be all combined together
All combined.
with just the one restroom?
Yes.
Okay.
It would all be combined, and typically it's friends, girlfriends or whatever that get together.
Any calls on this one, Bert?
Nope, not on this.
Have any of your neighbors approached you with the signs being posted?
No, but I did tap on all their doors prior to this and asked them, and they were, we're kind of palsy with some of them. One is from Berea College as well. So they were like, oh, that's great, I hope you can do it and stay home and do this from home. So I've talked to all of them or called, and I haven't received any complaints from anyone.
Any more questions for her?
Is there anyone on
Well, thank you. You can have a seat, please. Is there anybody else here for this 787 Muddy Creek Road? Doesn't look like it's anybody else. And we've had no calls, you said, Bert? No calls or emails? No.
I'll make a motion, we approve the conditional use permit for 787 Muddy Creek Road. Conditional use permit will allow the operation of an Airbnb, the Artist Tranquil Nest, and it will be by appointment only. And there will be one sign on the fence.
I'll second.
Mike Madden,
Yes.
Keith Hart,
Yes.
Angie Vaughn,
Yes.
Valerie Hunt.
Yes.
Ms. McKill will be in touch with next steps for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is a conditional use permit for 893 Charlie North Road in Richmond. Do we have anyone? Would you come up, please? Do you agree to give truthful and accurate testimony as it pertains to this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you please state your name and address?
It's Megan Eckert. Address is 893 Charlie North Road.
Okay. And Ms. Eckert, will you let us know what it is that you're asking this board?
Yes. So I want to start a grooming business. Originally, I put on the paper that we were going to do it out of the shed. It could be the garage. We're not sure, whichever one's easier to do plumbing with. But I wanted to do affordable pet grooming for people. I know that that's a pricey thing these days. But that's about it. I just want to work out of my home, be with my family. Who doesn't want to work at home? But
What
So
would
you-
be, I'm sorry.
This garage you're speaking about, is it attached to the house?
it is attached.
Okay.
And we've called our insurance and asked about all that stuff.
Okay.
So,
So this might be more feasible than doing it out in
yes,
the outbuilding?
exactly. It's already got the hookups and whatnot.
What hours of operation are you requesting?
It's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and it would be 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
And how many pets would you have at one time? do you
Not
anticipate?
many. I only do one client at a time. I don't back them up like a traditional grooming. It just depends on how many pets that client has. I wouldn't say more than 3 dogs at a time. That would be a lot.
What about parking and access? How is that on your property?
Parking, we have plenty of parking. Is that us pulled up there? Yeah.
Is the I guess the garage is on this end, toward the bottom of the screen?
Yes, it's to the bottom of the house there. But we have a large concrete pad there. But if we would need more, which I don't think we do, because we'd only have one extra car there at a time, we could
So they
extend it
wouldn't
with
be-
gravel.
They wait while you do this, or they just drop them
They
off and
usually
come
do
back?
wait, yeah. I've had a couple over to get groomed, and they do usually wait. If not, it takes about an hour, so they leave and they come back and pick up. And then my next client.
One client at a time, but would you have multiple clients during
No.
the day?
I mean, in a day,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
I would have anywhere from 5 to 7 maybe in a day. 7 would be a lot.
But you might have one client that has 2 or 3 dogs, that they might
Exactly.
drop them off.
Yes, so that would make my client list shorter.
Sure, sure.
And you had requested Thursday, Friday, and Saturday if this were to grow. Is
Yes.
that something
Well,
that you
this
want to
is
stick
what
with?
works for us right now with my husband's job. He can only work from home Thursday and Friday. So for the next few years, this will be how it is since our toddler is young and she needs watched. I would eventually like to do probably Monday through Friday, but that wouldn't be for several years.
Well, do you have a sign up?
I do not have a sign up. I did, but it started to take off and I said, that's probably not right, so we'll just take that down.
Are you requesting to have a sign, or do you want to keep it by appointment only?
I would love to have a sign, yeah, nothing big, but,
I think we need to be careful about that. Signs, under home-based businesses are generally, not part of the home-based business. And if someone's got a little small, like the bed and breakfast lady was talking about something hanging on the fence. But otherwise, you take a chance of being outside the boundaries of that, what's defined as a home-based business. Home-based business, there should not be any outward appearance of a business at that residence. So y'all just keep that back in mind when you're talking about signs. We need to try to avoid those if we can.
You okay with that?
yeah, that's fine.
Any other questions? Thank you, Megan. Is there anybody else here for 893 Charlie Morris? Would you please come up? Do you agree to give truthful and accurate information as it pertains to this case?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Would you please state your name and address?
My name is Elizabeth Short. I live at 2120 Jacks Creek Road. I'm going to speak on behalf of my brothers who own property there. Thomas Short, Billy Short, and William Short.
And where's that property?
Okay? William Short owns the double wide down this road from their house. And Thomas Short owns 85 acres in behind there. And Bill Short owns 30 acres in behind there. This driveway that they're using belongs to Thomas Short.
But
And
this
there was
property has a right of way.
they have like an easement from the circuit court in 1986. I have the paperwork if you wanna look at it. They have 10 foot past their driveway that they can use, and they're supposed to maintain that road, that towards the,
Now,
coming out to Charlie Rose.
10 feet,
From their driveway, from where she's wanting to put this in their garage. Their driveway is right at the end of their garage.
yeah. And they turn off this right of way into their driveway, right?
Yes, ma'am, yes,
Okay.
sir.
And so they're supposed to maintain the right of way
Down to their driveway and 10 foot
10
past
foot
it.
past their driveway.
Yeah, for the usage.
Okay.
There's farm tractors, cattle trailers. We go up and down the road. We've had trouble out of this road for years. I lived at 883 Charting North for 40 years, and we continually had trouble with people blocking you. I couldn't get home. You know, you'd have to sit and wait and try to find somebody to move. We've had the sheriff called and
Where
everything.
were the cars parked?
In the in the easement.
And these cars were at 893?
Yeah.
So they were visiting somebody there.
And they think that nobody, I don't know what they think the property just goes and nobody's down there, but my brothers go down there and farm, they're hot, and they wanna go home, they don't wanna have to try to find somebody. The last time that somebody blocked their driveway, we had to call the sheriff to come and ask them to move. They wouldn't come out of the house. Not necessarily these people, but, you know,
So
How long ago was
yeah,
that?
how-
a little over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. But we continually had trouble with the driveway. And putting up a sign hasn't worked, cause we put up signs saying no trespassing, don't block, and they just tear the signs down, and they've been down, they'll go on down and turn around. They got stuck in the middle of my yard with their U-Haul trailer when they moved in, but they didn't bother coming back and fixing the yard. Now, our only concern is not being able to get in and out of property that we own.
Would it make you feel better if we put some kind of condition on there that, obviously they couldn't block the easement? If that continued to happen, then they would be in violation of their permit.
Well, we're just kinda against them doing this because it's gonna just create problems. Because she's talking about her driveway into the garage, there's enough room for 2 vehicles. One of them or 2 of them is gonna be their vehicles, so that only leaves 1 spot.
So you're telling me their driveway is in the easement?
No, this is like their driveway. Their garage is here, and this is the driveway, and then here's the easement.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
You're saying that part of that concrete driveway is in the easement.
Well, it comes off there into the easement.
Cause that driveway's big enough to get more than 2 cars in. I mean,
Well, the
you
man that lived there before he had room for 2 cars.
You could stack 4
Unless they-
cars in there, but
And that is the driveway there,
is that
That's
your
your-
driveway? Yeah. So.
it is all concrete.
It's a question of where the easement starts and where their property line, ends, I guess, but if this is their driveway, it stands to reason that their driveway is on their property.
Yeah, but they back out into our easement,
Right. But they're not parking in your easement.
not right now. That's what we're trying to keep from avoiding the traffic and hurt feelings over neighbors.
But they do
blocking,
have
you know.
they do have an easement to get to their house that they use, and that came with the property.
Yeah.
Right.
I assume, I don't
Yeah.
know, you said it came from circuit court, was there a lawsuit?
Yes,
involved
sir,
in it?
yes, sir.
And who sued who?
Roger Short, my father, sued, it was Donald Rodas and Donald Brumfield.
Who owned that property?
Donald Rodas owned that.
Have you had any issues with the new owners since they've been there?
The only issue I've had is they came down and backed up into my front yard and buried their U-Haul and left the tracks, but didn't offer to fix it.
But no blocking of the easement or anything?
Right now, we've had no blockage in about a year and a half.
But we certainly don't want to create any more problems for any of the neighbors down there.
But you're talking about this is just a real narrow driveway
Yeah,
down.
10 feet's not much, yeah.
And on top of that, you can't get over because it's wet bottom land down there. You get over, you're buried.
Any other questions for Ms. Short? Is there anybody else here for 893 Charlie Norris? Sir, would you come up? Do you agree to give truthful and accurate information as it pertains to this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you state your name and address, please?
My name is Tony Sewell. I live at 884 Charlie Norris. I live right beside the driveway they're talking about.
Okay. And what is it that you want us to know about this?
I don't have any objection. The red house there, that's our house right there.
Right here.
Yes,
Let's say 885.
that's 885.
Did you say 885?
885.
That's your address?
Yes, sir.
I thought you said 884.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
885. I may have said 84.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
I'm not
We're
crazy.
good.
That's really good conversation. Do you ever have, Mr. Sewell, have any problems with traffic or people blocking? Do you use the same drive as that?
I do not use the same drive, no. No. But I do mow some of that drive going down through there. Yeah,
How long is that easement? You know, what, 100 yards or something?
Probably 100 yards maybe.
So you'd have to watch it. If somebody coming out saw somebody coming in, somebody'd have to stop and
Well, absolutely, back up and do something.
Do something, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
500 feet.
500 feet?
But I don't have any objection to them having a business or whatever, you know, I don't. It doesn't bother me, you know, but there is traffic in and out of that driveway, you know.
What'd be the possibilities of widening that easement over onto the current owner's property?
We don't have any authority to issue or grant or widen or improve easements. Easements are private, boundaries, and
Yeah.
private, issues between, property owners. We wouldn't have any authority to do anything.
But say, here's the edge of the easement. If these people wanted to make a wider drive, they could, right? It's their property.
Yeah.
You do whatever you want on their property, yeah.
Any other questions for Mr. Sewell? Thank you, sir.
That's it. Okay, thank you.
Is there anybody else here for 893 Charlie Norris? Ms. Eckert, did that raise anything that you would like to respond to? Any other comment? You can come back. I will remind you that you agreed to give truthful and accurate testimony.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
A lot of that traffic, there's a wedding venue to the left of us. Most of that traffic that comes down that road that ends up on their side, that's all from the wedding venue. I haven't had any of my clients go past our driveway. I just wanna throw that out there. We do get a lot of those wedding venue folks down our driveway thinking that we're the venue.
Where is the wedding?
It's the next road down to the right, so you'll go down the road, the next right turn, no, other way.
So they're taking a wrong turn and coming
Yes,
on the.
exactly.
They don't share your easement.
No, they do
Okay.
not.
Oh, yeah, that's this one right here.
Yeah,
That
that one right
road.
there. We
So,
get
but
several
They
a
don't
week.
park there to go to a
They're-
wedding.
they're
do
just
they?
making a wrong
They're in the
turn.
wrong
They make a
place.
Turning down the wrong
So
driveway.
they just come down and turn around and go back out?
Exactly, exactly.
Okay.
So that's,
They're not parking there.
we all have that issue with them. But
How many cars can you fit on your driveway that would not block the easement?
4 comfortably, but if it was an issue ever, we would definitely be willing to extend that driveway out up into our field so that they wouldn't have to worry about ever. I thought about putting up a sign that says, "Do not block,"
Your garage, a 2-car garage?
yes,
Would you be using both bays for your pet grooming business or just one of them?
I'm sorry, what do you mean?
Would you be using the whole garage
Yes,
for your
yes,
pet grooming business?
Yes, the whole garage.
So parking one of your vehicles in the garage is not an option then?
We don't use our driveway for both vehicles. Our car gets parked off to the right of that driveway. That way other people would have comfortable getting
Over
in
the
and out.
yard, in other
Yes,
words.
exactly. So we only keep our truck in that driveway. So there's room for 2 more cars with our truck in the driveway if they're parking side by side.
Any other
But we
questions?
would never have more than 1 car.
I think she mentioned that part of your agreement is that you have to maintain the road from the highway to 10-foot past your driveway?
We were not aware of that. We just bought the house a year ago, so.
Okay.
Nobody told us that.
So you weren't aware of that,
No, I was not.
which that's something they need to know, and that you wanna be able to do that and keep that part of the road in good working order, as in lieu of what the agreement that's been done, and that makes for good neighbors too, if you keep.
By maintain, you mean keep it gravelled and so forth? Okay.
And I think you only have a one-car garage.
No, you can fit 2 in there. I think. I mean, I'm not sure.
16-foot wide door?
It's as wide as the house, so, or about as wide as the
Okay.
house, so.
You may have too much stuff in, fit 2 cars in.
Yeah.
I'm just
I-
gonna
it
make
could
that
be.
one garage door and the other car's office part.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a 1 car, I'm not sure. We never park it in there.
Any other questions for Ms. Eckert? Thank you, ma'am. Is there anybody else here on this matter? Bert, did we get any calls or emails on this one?
We did not.
Can entertain a motion?
We need to have something in there about not being in the right of way, or not in that easement, no vehicle will be parked in that at any time. Anybody that comes to your house, I think we need to have some kind of stipulation in there that, won't be tolerated. If there's complaints, then we have to revisit. They would
Yeah,
complain.
if that was one of the conditions, then it would be like any other condition. If they, if they were supposed to close at 11 o'clock and they were staying open until 12, then they're in violation of their permit.
Right.
So if one of the conditions is they're not allowed to block the shared easement, and they block the easement, then they're in violation of one of the conditions, and their permit can be revoked. So it's just another condition.
Well, I will move that we approve the conditional use permit for Megan Eckert at 893 Charlie Norris Road for a dog grooming business, with stipulation that neither her family nor any of their customers can park a vehicle in the right of way that goes back to the other farms back behind you.
It's called, it's an easement, it's not a right.
Easement.
Did you wanna list the hours? I think she asked for 8 to 6.
She's asked for Thursday,
Yes.
Friday, Saturday from 9 a.m.
Thursday, Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. will be the hours, and there will be no signage.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 9 to 6,
I thought she had asked for 8. Anybody?
to 8, 8 to 6.
Like you good with amending your motion to say 8 to, well, she says 7 on Thursdays.
When she testified, she had said 8.
I mean,
6 o'clock was closing time every day. Okay, got from 8 to 6 on Saturday, 9 to 7 on Thursday and Friday.
Is that what you wanna make the motion?
That was in her application, but when she testified, she said 8 to 6.
8 to 6, 3 days a week.
Okay.
Let's
Thursday,
leave
Friday,
it at
Saturday,
8 to 6, Friday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Somebody second that here.
Second.
Keith Park,
Yes.
Mike Mattingly,
Yes.
Angie Moore,
Yes.
Valerie Hunt.
Yes.
All right, Ms. Secretary, we'll be in touch with next steps.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is a dimensional variance for 810 Mount Vernon Road in Berea.
Looks like Jay Webb.
It looks like him. Do you agree to give truthful and accurate testimony?
I do.
Would you state your name and address, please?
My name's Jay Webb, 13 Pauline Drive, Berea. I'm with Central Kentucky Land Surveying, here to represent Mr. Taylor for the variance request. This is the last property in Madison County going south on US 25. There's been an old house there since I was a kid. He kind of spruced it up for a little while, put some new siding and stuff on it, but it's really just beyond repair. So he has demolished the home. And the last time I was there, the porch was still intact. He wanted to keep it, but after looking at the variance, he's decided to just go ahead and demolish the porch. So if it's not gone yet, it will be demolished. So the existing home was 66 feet from the center of the highway. He's looking at putting the new home 76 feet from the center of the highway. The reason we need the variance, if you can look at the plat I attached with it, shows some contouring. Behind the house, these contours are pretty close together, and those are 5-foot intervals. And we can only shoot the first 15 feet of rise because it's basically a cliffside to the top of a mountain there. So he physically can't put the house back any further, so.
So he's putting it back farther than it is now.
10 feet further than it was. It's demolished at this point.
We were
No, I don't think we got a copy of the plat.
You didn't? No, okay. I've got one. I
We
can pass it around. Sure.
No.
You don't have,
No, sir.
You have one bird.
We had,
You got a couple.
we had a lot of other pictures of houses.
this is behind
There's
that,
the-
that was behind that.
66 feet from the center right now. The porch actually approached out on the state right of way, so he's removing that. We're gonna step the house back an additional 10 feet. And here's the contours of see they're right at the edge of the old house. And that's 15 feet of rise that fast, and it just keeps
Fly
going.
here in a minute. Bring us the flashlight.
Do you need this back, Jay? Any questions?
It's just because it's new construction that this is required then,
Well,
right?
the reason this is required, so the way these, conditional variances and these setbacks are pre-existing non-conforming, if you tear down and build back in the exact same footprint, then you can do that, right? You're maintaining that.
Or
Some
if you
people-
leave any part of it.
Some people
you
call it
can add.
grandfathering, but it's
Yeah.
really called pre-existing non-conforming. He's tearing down and going back in the same-ish footprint, he's going further away from the road, but he's still within that original 125 feet, so that's the reason he's coming to ask for the variance. He's making it better, but he's still not
Yeah,
as far back as he
he's not, right,
needs to be, right?
still needs the
But he
variance.
could, I mean, if he decided he wanted to build that back where it was today, we'd have to let him.
Yeah.
But he pushing it back as far as he can.
As far as you can physically go.
Are you the contractor?
No, sir, I'm just a surveyor representing him.
Oh, okay, surveyor.
Any other questions for Mr. Webb? Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else here for 810 Mount Vernon Road in Berea? Or did we get any calls or emails on this one? Looks like we can entertain a motion then.
So it comes up to,
What, 50?
49.
50-foot variance?
449.
49-foot variance.
Reducing it to
Oh, I see,
66
I'm
feet.
sorry, yeah. I'll make a motion, we approve Mr. Taylor's dimensional variance at 814 Mount Vernon Road,
810.
814.
810, 810.
Sorry, 810 Mount Vernon Road, a variance of 49 feet from the center, or giving him a 76-foot setback from the center of the road for new construction.
Second.
Keith Park,
Yes.
Angie Barnes,
yes.
Mike Mavety.
Yes.
Valerie Hunt.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next item on our agenda is new business. Are there any other items, new business? Okay. then
So we've got tonight, sorry for all the confusion on the first postponed meeting and then on tonight's agenda. Crazy couple months.
Okay. We're still rocking and rolling.
Next month.
So a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second?
Keith Park,
Yes.
Mike Mavety.
Yes.
Angie Barnes.
Yes.
Valerie Hunt.
Yes.
There's a,
Thank you.
well, two that we're gonna be